French President Emmanuel Macron blasted Russia's missile strike on a crowded shopping mall in Ukraine Monday as a new war crime. Speaking at the group of seven meeting leaders in Europe, he also promised the West's support for Kyiv would not waver, saying Moscow cannot and should not win in Ukraine. I spoke with CBN contributor Chuck Holton about the war and that missile attack. Here's a look at our conversation. Now, Chuck, you've been to the area with the shopping mall that was hit by a missile on Monday. What can you tell us?
Well, the Russians are saying that that was an abandoned mall. That's news to me because I had lunch there. And it's about halfway between Dnipro and Kyiv, about 3 hours or so from Dnipro. And it's a very busy place, lots of civilians going there. As you can imagine, it's difficult to get products now, more difficult than it was before the war. And so that's one of the central places. It's kind of like a Sam's Club and a Home Depot and things like that. They're there. So a lot of people go there to get supplies, water, gas cans, things like that. And it certainly was very busy the day I was there.
Now, were you surprised that the Russians targeted?
I don't think the Russians actually targeted it. I think that their targeting systems are so antiquated because if you look at the size of the missile that was used on this thing, it was actually an ICBM. It was meant to carry a nuclear payload long distances. And what that tells us is that they're out of their precision munitions. They don't have any left. And they're digging into their old Cold War stocks of these 4- and 5-ton missiles. And they, you know, in nuclear war, close is good enough. So they may have been aiming at some tactical target near there, but this was not their intended target, and that's what they ended up hitting. There's no strategic or tactical benefit for them to hit this mall and kill a bunch of civilians. But this is what we've seen over and over. I've been to dozens of these missile strikes that have hit civilian areas, hospitals, schools, playgrounds, things like that, and you think, why would they expend a $4 or $5 million missile on a playground? It doesn't make any tactical sense. So I don't think they're trying to do that. I just think they don't have the precision capabilities to hit what they're aiming at very well.
Some would say Russia is shooting itself in the foot in Ukraine. Why do you think that is, if true?
Well, for this very reason. When you see that 60% of the missiles that they fire are hitting actual civilian targets that don't have any strategic or tactical value. Again, they're running out of the munitions that could hit the things that they're aiming at, and they're just randomly bombing stuff now. When you blow up a villager's garden with a $10 million missile, it just turns the people against you. This is in the areas where it's mostly Russian people. And so 70% of the people in that area would have been amenable, would have at least thought about voting to join Russia or become a part of Russia before the war. But when you blow up their house or you blow up their kid's school or you blow up their shopping mall, now they're not going to be on your side. And I actually have had these conversations over and over with people where they've said, I speak Russian. I'm of Russian descent. My family came here in the 1930s. But I now want to join NATO. I now want to join the EU.
Wow. Do you think Russia will ultimately win this war or not?
I think Russia has already lost this war.
Wow.
From the standpoint of any kind of national security benefit for them, it's become a self-fulfilling prophecy. They were saying, we have to invade because these people are going to join the EU and NATO. They weren't that disposed to doing it beforehand, but now they are. And not only are they disposed to it, but Finland and Sweden and lots of other countries are going, we need to join NATO. They've reinvigorated NATO in a way that wouldn't have happened without this war. And so if their objective was to make their country safer or more prosperous, all of those things have failed. They have seen, according to the U.S. Pentagon, about 30% of their armored capability, their total armor of their entire military has been destroyed in 120 days of war, or whatever it is now. And so they are losing on every front. They're losing on the information battle space, they're losing in the kinetic battle space, and they're losing in the battle space of public opinion. And all of those things bode poorly for Russia.
Indeed. Chuck Holton, thank you so much for your insights. You're in studio with us now, safe and sound. We're glad you're here, but you're heading back to Ukraine as well.
That's right.
All right, much appreciated.
Okay.